Hi everybody, today we're working with squares mostly, and I'm going to start by drawing a kind of a grid. So I'm measuring about 1 inch apart, and you can do this with a ruler or without, but it looks better if you use a ruler or a straight edge. I'm using a paint stir stick. So I'm lining this up, and I'm going to do this both ways, both vertical and horizontal. We need to know the difference between those directional lines. These are horizontal lines. They go side to side. I'm just trying to get them fairly straight because we're going to do something fun with this grid. We're going to use all the colors that we know or have, and we're going to juxtapose or mix them up. They're not going to touch each other. They're going to be kind of a grid for different colors, almost like a television screen that has gone crazy and just shows you all the colors that there are. I don't know if you've ever seen anything like that on a computer monitor or television, but it's kind of the color code of what it can play. Sometimes when you're calibrating your television, you might see that. So I'm drawing these kind of square rectangle shapes. They're close to both. Some are more square-like than others because they're closer to being equal. But this is just close enough. So you see I have this white piece of paper underneath what I'm doing to protect my table. So we're halfway done with our grid. I have some things to show you. I'm going to do this assignment in 2 different ways. I'm going to paint it in, and I'm also going to use these squares that I have, which will be kind of fun. So there's my grid. Make sure you can see that. All I used was a pencil and a ruler, and it's close enough. Now, I have these that I could put a dot of glue on and go, but for this one, what I think I'm going to do is paint them in. So here's my trusty set of paints. I could use crayons to color this in, but that would take some time, wouldn't it? The artist that made me think of this was Piet Mondrian. Piet Mondrian. So it's like Peter, but it's a French name. If we looked at Miro, the strange bird, these are watercolor crayons, and they have a brush and something to ask for Christmas if you want something like this. But you could take and fill this in, or we could go ahead and figure out which are different colors and then put them into this. So we're plugging these in different places. You could make patterns. You could skip a line and go that way. I'm going to lay these out because I think these will be hard to get back in. Now when we put tissue paper, when we glue it, we don't need much. We need a dot of glue. Pretty much just a dot. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dot in every square. And if I wanted to smooth those on, I could. It's going to look neat to be either smooth or pooched up. There is going to be a difference in how it looks. So I'm starting this way. And I won't just fill in pink, 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 pink. That would be boring. I'm going to skip colors. Now, the artist that I just referenced, Piet Mondrian, I'll have to find some of his work to show you, and we'll be doing something more like his work coming up, which it's all geometric shapes, mostly squares and rectangles, and then simple fields of color. That means it's filled in with pure color in places. So I have this almost done. You can stick this onto here and lift it and put it onto a place that I want it to be. I don't want it to be right next to each other. I do want it to, I want it to dance around the paper pretty much. I want it to look different. I don't want it to all be the same. And this is when, or where, your imagination comes in, what you decide to make your patterns, or if there's no pattern at all, it could be totally random. So I'm going pink, light blue, pink, light blue, so I can finish out this pattern with my pink. And this pink is different than that one, and it matches up there. And then I'm going to skip a row and go up here, and then here. And if you did it this way, if you cut a piece of paper into squares, this would be really quick to go through and get done. After you've glued it and drawn it, that is the hard part. I wanted red because it's so bright and vivid and eye-catching in the middle, because I wanted to draw the viewer's eye into the middle, and then it can come out and look at all the other parts. So I'm juxtaposing these colors, I'm moving them around. And this gets pretty interesting to look at. So I'm only doing squares. Now remember, you could color all these in if you wanted to, but please take your time. Looks good when you do. You could color, you could paint, depending on what you have. So if you're in class, you would probably do this with a paper and a pencil and then crayons. That'd be the easiest way to do it. Now I need some more colors. I've got white and blue here. Go with those next. And there's some purple. That would be neat right next to this pink. So I'm thinking to go light in the middle, besides the red, and then darker on the edges, probably. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's just what you like. It doesn't have to be like mine. I hope yours is the way you want to make it. And that will give us something new to look at, not just what we've always seen, which is nice. We want to see new things. That's why we make new things. Going with the white right here. See, I'm just pushing them on. This is square tissue paper. I bought it for a project several years ago that, I don't know, I think one class did it. And I had these left over, and I thought, well, why not use them today on today's assignment, because this works perfectly. Now I have some blue, and that's darker, so it's going out toward this edge. I think it'll go right in between purple and look pretty cool. Making sure you can see this as I'm doing this. Now the background is a yellow paper, so it does change how the white looks. See, it's kind of tannish, not quite bright white, and that's okay with me. So I do want this to be on the same level. And I am more than halfway through with this. And I'm keeping in mind, well, on this third one, this went blue, purple, blue, purple, blue, purple. So I've got that in common, but it is juxtaposed because the purple's on top on this side, the blue is on top on this side. And it adds a little bit of a random element to it, which is kind of neat. Now I could go white here, but I think I'm gonna find another color altogether. Maybe not yellow, because we have yellow. And I could leave that on the edges. I saw an orange and a green over here. I think I would like to represent those. So I've got those out here. Got more of that light blue, but this orange looks really nice and vivid. So I think I'll go here. And this is just random. I didn't really plan this out too much, but it's fun. This is something to understand color a little better. If you play with it, you'll know what you like and don't like as much. And by your choices, you kind of show that. So here we are almost finishing this, and I want you to have enough time to finish this, either at home or at school. And I think I stuck 2 onto that one. Yep. And that's okay that it's not super straight. Now I did have a blue one for here. And then I needed blue for here also. And I can do this other edge however I choose, but I was going kind of dark out on that edge. So if you are in class, just make sure to mark on Google Classroom. I did this in class. If you are at home, please send me a picture of your work so I can enjoy it and grade it and respond to you that I saw this. Way to go. And thank you for doing such great work. I'm going to just stick with this one because you know how to color in squares. Not having the time today to do 2 examples of this, and this will give you plenty of time to finish this. This is part color, and this is part drawing with those lines and the ruler and the measurement and all that, and just get close as you can. And it looks pretty good. I'm happy with what we made today. I hope you like it. It's a color tile, we could call it, and it's all about squares mostly. I'm going to go ahead and finish this bottom part because if I leave it undone, it doesn't look so great. I want to complete what I do. I have a better feeling about it that way. So I have blue here. It's okay that those hang off just a bit. I know I need pink over here. I need red. Oops. Now, I did not use all of the colors that I have, and that's okay. I had to be selective. I had to choose. That's what I would like you to do. And please don't just random fill in everything and then say I'm done. Take your time. Look at what I've done. I've juxtaposed my color. No color is touching itself, like a pink is not next to a pink. So think about that as you do this work, please. And that way yours will look jumbled up and juxtaposed like mine. Juxtapose is when you have a color not hitting another color and you create a random pattern of sorts. So that's what we have. We have our random color square box. And this is kind of fun to look at. It's similar to a stained glass window. I'm going to cut this edge off. I hope you enjoyed this assignment. Color this in with crayons at school, and please tell me that you're done with this assignment or you watched it on Google Classroom in your class. If you're at home, send me a picture of your work. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed.